Hello and welcome to Overcoming the Student Employability Skills Gap with High Quality Digital Learning, a roundtable discussion held in partnership between Times Higher Education and Coursera for Campus. My name is Ashton Wenborn and I'm the Special Projects Deputy Editor at THE. I'll be chairing today's session. If you could turn your cameras on for the discussion today, that would be really useful. And if you could also introduce yourself and your institution when you first speak, that's also great. And if you'd like to get my attention or make a point at all during our discussion today, please just go ahead and jump in, or you can also use the raise hand reaction, which you can see at the bottom of your screen. In times of uncertainty and instability, graduates entering the workforce need to be equipped with key employability skills to ensure they're able to reach their full potential. Digital learning and hybrid education can help graduates gain these essential proficiencies and close the student employability skills gap. So I'd like to begin today's discussion by asking firstly, what are the key skills valued by graduate employers in Turkey, and where are the major gaps lying at the moment? Professor Halil, perhaps you could start us off today.
Yeah, thank you for this meeting. I just want to introduce myself firstly. As you know, my name is Halil Ibrahim Bülbül. I'm advisor of the rectors of Gazi University. Rectors now is another meeting. He's very busy, so that's why I'm presenting instead of him. In our university, we met some meeting. We made some meeting with the Coursera, as the Sevcan Hanım know. And we already, I think, discussed some of this subject. Thank you for opportunity to discuss this. I think this is the general problem for all university facing these days, because the world is digitalizing and many skills comes out. The old skills and old experience is not valued anymore. Most of the university has to teach the new skills, I mean update skills. Otherwise, students, when they graduate, they cannot find a good job, or they cannot locate it or employ it what they want. So I think the digitalization is very fast. Our curriculum is very, how can I say, very slow to catch up with the new things. In this case, I think many universities or many institutions doing or updating their curriculum or their content to the digital material or digital, including digital books and other digital materials. Otherwise, you cannot follow the old material or old content, old curriculum. Things is changing. Another thing is also sometimes students more updated than teaching staff. If they cannot update it themselves, how can they teach the new technology or new current subject? That's the problem, and they need to in-service education most of the time to update yourself, because the new generation is already using the computers and social media and other other environment. They already know everything. You know, they're searching, and their family is also, you know, teaching. When they come to school, it doesn't matter the level, you know, K through 12 or university level. The students already know many things. So you can maybe, that's our case, maybe my opinion, maybe staff, university staff, professors and others, they change their role. They should moderate other than teaching, because they already know it, but you modify, you guidance them how to find the different things, different material or different video, different course material, something like that. Otherwise, you know, you can teach, they can understand. Maybe some courses is still need to teach by the professor, but many other subject has to put another way. I mean, you know, moderate student, they can work, self-learning, something like that. That's all for now.
Thank you. That's a very interesting starting point for us. I think you mentioned that one of the challenges is the slow pace that institutions can put that sort of really wide-ranging changes in place. And when you mentioned that that moderation perhaps being the new role for teachers, Sundan, that seemed like something that really resonated with you. Did you want to speak to us about that? You're just on mute at the moment.
I'm muted. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
I agree with Halil Hocam, but you know, when you look at the skills the industrial partner needs, it's not just digital skills. Actually, all the professors or the upper administrative staff in the university, they have to think about the educational model they are putting the student in. So they have to change it, because you cannot, you know, use the 19th century educational model to educate 21st century people, and their need is different. You know, at Kadiras, this is exactly what we did. We changed everything, but how we did it is the important thing. We came together with the representatives of the sectors in all fields where we, you know, we have a program. And what I told them, okay, you do not like what we train and educate, so let's prepare, let's develop the curriculum together. But I have one condition. Number one, no conventional lecturing. Today, young people, they do not like lecturing, and I don't like lecturing either. So what they will have a pool of projects, and you have to be careful in designing the pool of the projects, because number one condition is you have to make sure that whatever MIT student gets the knowledge, or Stanford or Middle East Technical University, the pool has to be designed in such a way that our students will have all sort of knowledge they get when they go through the classical way, conventional way of education. Number two, these projects should come from R&D department of yours. Number three, you have to give me an engineer or whatever the expert in the field to become a mentor for the students. So for each project, student will have one academic mentor and one representative, a mentor from the sector. And at the end, you have to be with the student throughout the project. So students will learn whatever academic knowledge is needed while they do the projects. And those are real life projects. And one other thing, we also impose no conventional written examinations. No, they have to have a project, they have to present the projects, they have to write the reports, because when we came together with the sector representatives, we asked very simple, basic questions. What skills and values a university graduate should have when they completed their education? You know what, they come, I just have a list of them. being responsible for himself and herself, for society, awareness of being individual, ability to work in a team as well as to work independently, ability to do research, ability to develop original ideas and follow the ideas, and of course, ability to manage the time, adaptation to different conditions, independent thinker, ability to manage the crisis, solution-oriented, and open-minded, critical thinking, analytical thinking, computational thinking, of course, have global vision on any problems, be respectful for different cultural background, and of course, the private life and sense of justice, being sensitive to society issues and of course, diversity, and etc. And you can just, put many more things. Do you think that with the conventional educational model, this student will have those skills? Of course not. So to have those skills, so it's like, do you see any digital things there? Nothing. It's all human. So you have to change your educational model so that at the end we're going to have a person who can have all the skills, and with the conventional way, this is impossible. The digital materials, those are just complementary materials. They can be part of the education, but they cannot replace the on-campus education. This is out of the question. We see it today, now at Kadir Has University and at many universities around the globe, we have hybrid education. But it is not effective because when they are sitting at home, because once they are online, they turn on the camera, off the camera, off the microphone, do whatever they are doing. But on the campus, students get something else, really. And for that, they have to be real on the campus. My comment, additional to Halil Hocam, yes, the professor should be a mentor, and they can learn anything. They cannot. I am a physics professor. They don't have to learn physics from me. They can go to the Coursera, and if they're happy with the professor on Coursera, I'm very fine for them to go and listen or learn the things, or some other resources. And in terms of resources, we are limitless. So in this environment, professors should be a mentor, and we have to trust in the students, trust in their creativity, trust in they can do something. So the educational model, this is what we did. Second, third, and fourth year project-based. First year is turning the student into a universal student, a world citizen. And this is just intellectual Disneyland. Even engineering student at Kadir Has in the first year, they don't take math, they don't take, it's forbidden. Before taking the, specialized courses, they have to be first a human, respectful for everyone, for the world, and to give those universal values, you have to have some other different courses. So in the first year, universal values and ethics, one course, history of humankind is another course, design, and those doesn't involve any math, science courses, that's it. First year is turn the student into intellectual individual. Then we designed the courses for the second, third, and fourth year for making the student an expert in the field. So I just wanted to add that, yes, digital world, we need it, but it cannot replace the on-campus education. And of course, the professors, they have to change their position in teaching. Instead of get on the stage and write everything on the board and make the student listening. No, you make them part of the project. You force them to do something. And in the first practice, I'm very happy with the result. I want to just give you one example, and then I will stop. In electrical engineering program, we have two programs. One is classical, conventional way. The other one is project-based. At Kadir Has University, we get the student at the same segment. First, 100,000 students, okay, that's it. And the ones who go to the classical education, there is one course, both project-based students take and the classical conventional training also the student can take. The GPA of the student who go through the classical or conventional education, it is 1.6 out of 4. The same course, the professor is the same. The way the students are learning is the differences. This is the difference. In the one project-based, the GPA is 3.65 out of 4. The same segment students. In one way, you say, we trust in you and you can do that. In the other way, no, I will teach you and you will learn. This is the only difference. So it is successful when you make a real change. Expectation from the industry, you will meet the expectation of the industry, and also you will have 21st centuries of human. That's what I want to add. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I wonder, Sevkan, if you have noticed the sort of trends that we've already touched on today on Coursera's platform, you know, that kind of interest in skills-based, project-based learning, rather than kind of specializing in a field first.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. Yeah, before our professors, I really want to jump in as what Sondan Hoca mentioned and addressed. It is really important because nowadays we have started to talk skills-based approach, skills hiring approaches. For example, Apple, Google, Netflix, all the well-known companies have started to say that when they are recruiting graduates, they are really taking care a lot importance to their skills and competencies, what the graduates have. So that's why in Coursera, we really give a lot importance to the skills and skill sets as well, because it is the main question of the universities and also from the students. What they are saying is, how can I prepare my students with in-demand skills? So in Coursera, what we really differentiate ourselves and what we are addressing is skill sets provide job-based learning programs. So students can develop in-demand skills for their high growth roles, and job-based learning will prepare students with the skills they need to help them secure their graduation, secure their let's say, demand jobs for the future. In skill sets, we are offering hands-on learning, world-class courses from the top universities. As Sondan Hoca mentioned, hands-on learning, apart from those courses, are really carrying a lot of importance, because with those skill sets, students can gain insight from different type of Coursera courses, and these courses, as all of you know, that Coursera is partnering more than 200 partnerships, having 200 partnerships. These are the very well-known companies and also the universities all around the globe. That's why we really want to believe that which skills are needed for the future of the jobs. With a given skill set, students will take courses and projects tailored to their existing proficiency levels that accelerate their skill acquisition. And also, while we are talking about the skill sets, as an admin, as an instructor, or as a student, they can also monitor the skill development. What it brings to us is these dashboards. When you track the skill progress by role, skill domain, level of the mastery, you can benchmark the student skill proficiency against the industry. So student can understand where I am in the global world, in my university with peers, in Turkey, not only in Turkey, also in the globe. So it allows them to have, more actionable conversations with recruiters in representing what the students can do. So in a nutshell, I can say that Coursera is supporting universities when it comes to employability discussions. And in order to support employability, We are offering academic career for the students. We are offering hands-on projects, and in addition to that, skill sets for the students for their high growth roles.
Thank you, Sevkan. You've touched again on a point that's come up a few times, which is the importance of working with industry to understand what they want from graduates, but also to kind of have a collaborative approach to teaching students those sorts of skills. And I wonder, Gonja, or I'll go to Gonja first and then we can go to Gokan as well. If that industry partnership is forming a really big part of your strategy moving forward.
Thank you. I'm from Bilgi University. I work as the Vice Rector responsible for academic affairs. We have an advisory board for all academic units, and most of the members of the advisory board are from the industry. They are industry representatives, and they give feedback on the content of the curriculum, as well as how we run the curriculum, and provide us support for practice, to provide practice to our students. Also, we have graduates of our university on that board who are also usually practitioners. And also we must have one representative at least from a NGO, non-governmental organization, so that they might provide opinion on that too. So we incorporate the industry's viewpoints through those advisory boards, and they meet at least twice a year. And we have an office that supports the process, their meetings. They organize the meetings, they take notes on the meetings, and when the academic units come up with action plans, they're also shared with the rector's office. And we ask the academic units, how can we help you to achieve what is asked by the industry? What type of skills are required, and how do you want to change the curriculum to support that? Do you need any resources to do that? So that's a process, a very defined process at our university. And as Fundam Hoca has mentioned, we also have some core competencies we try to build through our curriculum. We have 5 core competencies that we concentrate on: written and oral communication, information literacy, critical thinking, and quantitative reasoning. And apart from that, we have a whole list of competencies that has been determined by our Senate, and which includes being a good human, also as Fundam Hoca has mentioned that. And I guess digital literacy should be among them, but it's not the sole aim. It's not a replacement, a substitute of what we do. It's not full automation. It's rather augmentation of what we do. Facilitate what we're doing. So of course we include digital literacy in our content, in our curriculums, because without covering digital literacy, you cannot cover any material today. And also, I would like to add that, as an instructor, we act as mentors, as Halil İbrahim Hoca and Fundam Hoca has mentioned. And we also act as like career counselors or curators of content, actually. We try to curate what's existing in the content. Like I teach strategy to MBA students, and when they find a topic interesting, they come to me and ask, what other things should I read? And I provide them some courses from Coursera, according to their interest. Maybe I curate some videos or some books, or I suggest some thinkers that they might follow. That's how we run teaching at our university. And as I mentioned, advisory boards are the main keys to incorporate industry viewpoints. And also we're trying to come up with student projects that also include industry involvement. And we are trying to find funds through the university or through other sources to run their projects too, which includes partnership with industry.
Thank you, Gonja. And Gokan, did you want to jump in on the conversation there?
Sorry, did you mention me? Oh, sorry, I missed it.
Yes, yeah, go for
Yeah,
it.
because no. Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Gokan. I'm the Dean of Business Faculty and at the same time the Director of Distant Learning Center. In the first days of the pandemics, as all the universities, we just jumped to the online system, and we were at least bragging that we are doing good job. But at that time, we were just miming the face-to-face education. That was what we were doing, and we was just proud of it. But after some time, we saw that that's not enough, and we weren't doing something good actually. Maybe we were doing the things badly, because distant learning has got its own advantages. And in summertime, we just corrected some things. We gave some trainings to our staff, and also gave some extra trainings to our students by videos to teach them that distant learning is something different. We also have got some competences like developing learning strategies, critical thinking, professional ethics, community things, but these are not new. The only new thing that I can say after pandemics, we put a course like corporate sustainability management. This may be a new competence for our students. But we are a big university. We've got departments from dentistry to business, from law to medicine. So for each department, things are very different. For some of them, we are doing theoretical issues classes online, but for dentistry, for example, there are many courses that you can't do anything. So they are doing classes face-to-face, as they did before the pandemic, or in medicine, pharmacology, chemistry. Some courses cannot be carried online, at least for the time being. But the most important change in our system is, as Zondan Hocam mentioned, assessment types have been changed. I mean, we were giving classical exams. Okay, quizzes are still working, but take-home exams have been used more often than it was before pandemics, and projects gained importance again. So these are adding something value to our students. More important, we used to say, for example, before the pandemics, we gave some reading list to our students, books, journals, articles, this kind of things. And I don't even think that I would give someone a video, please watch this video. And I didn't think that I wouldn't do that. Just go and attend Zondan Hoca's classes before my class, or I couldn't say, please see some videos of Gonja Hoca before you see my class. I wouldn't say that, but now I'm doing that. Instead of giving just books and articles, I say, look, there are lots of tubes. The most famous one is YouTube, just go there, I find it for them, but watch this class. Look, there is a teacher here, filmed himself or herself, teaching the same stuff. Just watch it before or after the class. So these become the sort of the reading list of some of the classes. But before the pandemics, it was weird. So this has gave some opportunity to the students to see different aspects of conveying the class. So they started to compare me with other teachers or with other sayings, and they learn better for the time. And for this generation, or Generation Z, I think they like watching videos more than reading books. So I saw from my students that they are more ready than they were, because they like watching things when they are coming back home. So in this sense, as Sevcan said, Coursera is supporting universities. This may close a gap that, because as lecturers, we are searching for some videos to have our students watch it before the classes and get ready for them. So this may be a good opportunity for universities. It will be, some ready materials there, or they may be tailored according to some other departments. So for employability, both skills are very important, but it's too early to speak about employment, because we just started pandemics right now. We don't see if it will be good or bad, because we gave our graduates not 1 year ago, and they had their formal education face-to-face for 3 years. Only 1 year or half semester, they had some online teaching or online education. So it's too early to say that how it will change or how it is changing the employability in Turkey. But what I say, we should exploit the good signs of pandemics, and maybe it's our advantage. We have got hybrid classes and online classes. What we understand from hybrid classes, students may physically attend the class on campuses, and they can also attend the same class online, because our classrooms, all of them are furnished with microphones, loudspeakers, cams, and smart boards. So simultaneously, synchronously, we broadcast the lessons, courses, and at the same time, we got a chance to record them so that students can watch it. These are the new things that from our side, from Medipol University, Ashton.
Thank you, Gokan. And Fundam, it would be great if you could jump in on your experience here.
Hello, everybody. I'm Fundam. I'm attending from Bursa University. I'm a quality coordinator. Also, I am MD. I am a pulmonolog. With the pandemic, we found ourselves actually in a digital world, and we were not ready for online education. We provided training by increasing the digital learning opportunities, but we had a hard times about the measuring whether gain talent or skills. Actually, this is very important for medicine education, because very hard time for these days. As Bursa University, we did a course, digital learning, about approximately 1,000 lecturers. We gave the course, but this is enough. I'm not enough. It is not enough, because we have also problem. But I agree, especially in Sondan, because we change our educational program. We change our minds. But I'm listening to you. I was listening to you. I'm always thinking about this, because we have approximately 70,000 students, very huge university, and we have approximately 3,000 lecturers. How can we change our lecturers? Yes, the students is changing. We know this, we learned this, we saw this, but our lecturers in my university, I think Professor Halil Ibrahim Birbir, he will join me. Our lectures is very old and old-fashioned, something like that, because they don't know, and it's
conservative. They all
yes,
conservative.
Yes, we should change these lecturers to digital skills. First step, I think this is. Thank you very much. I want to say this. Also, one more thing. When we look at the alumni survey, I know everybody use these tools. They feel our graduated students, they feel need to take a course after graduations. I think this is another big problem. We didn't give any skills for these students, and after the graduations, they need to be some courses, a lot of courses. I did just say this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Can I add some sentences
Yes, please do.
Funda Hanım? I think in these days, I agree with Funda Hanım. When we graduated, the students, they cannot find a job, good job. Also, workplace or employers looking for skills. They don't need a degree. I think they fit on certificate, what they need, because most of the workplace, and also we are visiting industry, they say they are educating them. It doesn't matter which major they graduated, but okay, I think if they need the engineering, of course they should graduate the engineering school, but they teach, they skill in the workplace. This thing is changing. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we're beginning to consider the role of lifelong learning a lot more in you know, what institutions and universities should be providing to their students. And Funda, you mentioned speaking with alumni about what they do after graduation. And so, Ulku, perhaps you could speak to us a little bit about what do you find that lifelong learning is something that you're considering more and more, and is that something that you are offering students?
Thank you very much. I'm Ülkü Gürler, the Dean of Faculty of Business Administration at Bilkent University. I think lifelong learning is a key word with a very, very rapidly changing environment, digital facilities, technical facilities. Yes, we try to teach them to our students, but then they become obsolete so fast. So one technology that they have learned when they are in, let's say, second year or third year, when they graduate, they find that it's already not existing. So I think with this very rapidly changing world and environment, an attitude about lifelong learning is very important. That is a sustainable learning. If we cannot really impose this kind of perspective to our students in education, then they will not be able really to retain their positions in the long run in their jobs. So when we talk about employability, I think first thing we should do is to really find out what are the needs of the society at large, industry and business, and then try to develop those skills in our students. At Bilkent FBA, we basically do this by collaborating with business people. So we also have advisory boards in different levels, like senior level advisory boards, which is composed of very top level CEOs of some companies. We have program advisory boards who are maybe younger, less experienced people from business who could really tell us more operational, give us more operational advices and things like that. So we try to really keep track of the needs of these circles. Another thing, actually thing we use is mentor programs. We have a very good alumni basis, and we establish a mentorship program, and many of our students are willing to get into it, and it was very nice, very really rewarding that most of our alumni to whom we have contacted returned to us, and they wanted to be mentors. mentors. So it's also another way of really keeping track of the needs of the business world, because they give advices to our students and help them in shaping their professional goals, etc. But behind all this, yes, really, I think, find it a bit difficult to distinguish between what is the durable knowledge and what is kind of contemporary knowledge. In order to have sustainable skills, you should, of course, have durable knowledge. And that durable knowledge mostly, I think, comes and is learned by maybe traditional methods as well. So in this respect, I think the main issue is not whether the students learn the things with technological tools or by traditional tools, but really what matters is what they learn and how they expel themselves in their target projects. So sustainability in learning, lifelong learning is very important. And I think in some good big universities, this lifelong learning tasks are very well done by alumni organizations. For instance, they keep providing both their alumni and society with the most recent trends in science, technology, arts, and things like that. I think universities should also take this role to nurture their not only alumni, but also the society with the scientific approaches needed for the whole society to excel. So as Bilkent University, we also have some core subjects in our curriculum. And within those, we definitely have basic science, arts, humanities, communication skills, and also, of course, computational skills and data analysis. So all these things are very important. Of course, with these trends in data analysis, big data, and all that stuff, you have to be very good in computational skills and to follow and understand digital world. So digitalization, technical tools are, of course, very important. They have to be learned. Our students should know them, should know how to use them. But the main thing, I think, is not the tool, but the purpose. So in that sense, having a scientific perspective and adopting it in all your life, both professional and personal life, I think is important. And in that sense, lifelong learning should be the basis of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You mentioned data analysis and big data as being a useful skill for students to learn and get their heads around, but also perhaps it's quite useful for institutions to kind of assess that big data in terms of where their students are and how they're learning, and to really inform learning going forward. And Sevkan, I wonder if Coursera, I mean, you've got so many learners on your platform, so certainly it's big data. Is that something that you're able to use to inform your own courses and your institutional partners going forward?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Ashton. So right now in Coursera, we have nearly 90 million students, individually registered learners. Every day, every passing month, let's say, the number is increasing. And we have a huge data. For example, we are getting the data from 200 million courses of the learners. So we really want to understand the learner behaviors. And when we look at because until this time, we really address many different topics like lifelong learning, for improving the career readiness, job-ready credentials. These are all important things. And of course, these are all interrelated things with each other. When we look at, also we are working with World Economic Forum, McKinsey, or Microsoft. So we are getting all these information from these companies. And also the companies that we are offering our services, more than 2,000 companies. So data analysts, scientists, artificial intelligence, machine learning specialists, or big data specialists are the most demanding and highest growth jobs in the future, in the upcoming future. In order to, because we are calling these areas as emerging skills, and emerging high growth jobs require proficiency in digital and data skills. So in Coursera, regardless of the department, regardless of the major, and this is our near future, we are trying to empower all the students to gain new skills in these emerging and digital areas. And when we look at, we are also publishing lots of reports about learner behaviors, about learner activities. So this is the trend where we see ourselves and the future of education. We are just, in order to adapt all the students, we try to enrich the curriculums with these emerging skills and emerging areas, with our skills transformation consultants, with analysts. So in this case, we can, as I mentioned earlier, we can support all the universities up to their needs and up to the future of the skills.
Thank you. I'd like to return to another point that Ulka mentioned. I think it really distills down what we're talking about here today, which was the difference between durable knowledge and contemporary knowledge. And I think probably if institutions can figure out that difference and how to identify which skill is which and how to then impart those skills on their students, then perhaps we've solved the problem at hand. Sondan, I saw you nodding a little bit along with that point, and I'd love to hear what you think about how institutions can really get to grips with that issue.
Actually, the fundamentals is the same. I mean, yes, everything with the time, things can change, but the fundamentals in science, in any science, they stay the same. I'm a physicist, and fundamentals of physics stays the same. So all higher education institutions should focus on the fundamentals, not the details. Details can be learned while they do, or even in their professional life. But during the education, I mean the 4-year education, we can just develop the curriculum, redesign the curriculum. This is a must, and that's for sure. And I can see it. I have 24 years old son who was a computer scientist student, and at the 3rd year he just gave up and became a musician. So now he's in jazz school in New York. So they don't know what to do. I mean, it's too early for the student to decide when it's 18 years old. I mean, even we change our minds. So the curriculum should be so extensive, and students just can jump from one to the other one. That's it. Once we provide that environment, then they're able to try, from one and there. One other thing we can do, this is really important, and we can do it with the tools we have today. First, minor programs. Second, double major programs. I wish the higher education council of Turkey would leave us alone so that we can just provide those tools to the students. I mean, as the president, director of the university, I want, as many students as who can do their double majors, because, they take an examination, and they just list the universities according to the ranking they are in, and then they become a student of a department. So the key here, give the freedom to the students. And second thing, really important, give the student the freedom to make their own transcripts. And this is important. My main policy is to make sure that each student at Kadiras can have 50% of their transcript chosen by themselves. I was a physics student. At the time I entered the program, they gave me the list of the courses that I had to take, and nothing else I was allowed to take. No, so the freedom and the fundamentals. As to your questions, the fundamentals in any science, the fundamentals, and they're not that much. I mean, as a professor, we are really hard people. As the academic people, really we are. Everything we know are the most important things. Nothing can be, leave aside. No. Yes, as a, for example, physics professor, I say we don't have to teach the student physics as we are teaching today. I am not saying that they don't need physics. The way they learn physics should be different. We give them projects. And for example, if they need to design a bridge, of course, you ask the question, how you are going to make sure that this bridge will stay stable. Then you teach them F is equal to M times A. This is, otherwise, in every institution around the globe, whatever they see in the high school, you repeat it in the first year of the 14 weeks of physics 1, 14 weeks of physics 2. That's it. Leave them alone. Make sure they have freedom to pick up whatever courses they want to learn. And I trust in the student. If this is the main policy of any institution, concentrate on the fundamentals of any science or discipline, I would say, and then leave the rest to the students.
Thank you, Sondan. Gonja, would you agree that giving students the freedom to explore their learning is the way forward?
Mm-hmm. When the Bologna process was first introduced, it was introduced as a way of providing flexibility to students. But then we encountered that it required like 30 ECTS credits per semester, and we had to follow the Council of Higher Education's requirements, like 14 weeks of teaching and then final exams. So, it didn't provide us the flexibility that we have looked forward to design our curriculum. But given the circumstances, I totally agree with Sondan Hoca. Being an 18-year-old is not easy, and it's not easy to choose what you want to be in the future. So the curriculum should provide some type of flexibility to students to choose. And of course, this gives more responsibility to academic advisors, because they have to guide the students in the correct way, because students are like me shopping in a supermarket, they'll go to the racks and choose whatever is more, with which they are more happy to consume. However, they are not all nutritious. So, they need a lot of guidance, but I totally agree that they need flexibility to choose. And my colleagues did a study during the pandemic era, and it was published in 2021 about online teaching and learning. They did a survey with the students, and students, the thing they like most about online teaching period is the flexibility it provided and the autonomy it provided. So, rather than the content or, other digital materials that were engaging, they stressed that autonomy and flexibility was the best thing they enjoyed. So I totally agree with Sondan Hoca in that sense.
Thank you. Funda, in your role as quality coordinator, I wonder if providing greater flexibility to students creates a challenge that needs to be overcome in terms of ensuring that all students receive the same quality if they're taking quite different pathways?
Actually, this is hard questions for me, because I think no, we couldn't do this. Actually, it is impossible not to join the Professor Sondan says. And I'm very curious about Professor Sondan. Were you able to do this for your students? Because you, I think you have, I don't know how many students do you have, but we have a lot of students. So we try to some faculties, maybe the flexibility, some curriculums, some lessons, some courses, but all of the university, all the unique, we don't have any pathway about this. We have a curriculum, all the faculties and vocational schools, and our lecturer give the lessons, the same lessons, same way, just the conventional system.
Thank you.
I'm
Please.
About the Kadir University.
Okay.
I can do this.
I can respond first. We have 4,500 students, so it's much easier to make any changes when you have such a small, size. And we have about 150 full-time faculty members, another 50, teaching staff and etc. But I agree with you because, the key to any changes is to work with young people. With the senior people, we cannot make any changes. Either the senior people should have the young minds, then it's easy to work with them. But with that small size, yes, 50% of the transcript student data. How you do that? You just minimize the required course, have field electives, and then free elective pools. This is how we did it. So field elective, you do the academic advising. Actually, you have a pool of field electives, and then the free electives. 30% of all the transcript has to be from free elective pools. So the rest is from the field elective. So by just orienting with this structure, you can actually have an advising system to the students. Currently, 50% of the transcript are made by the students. And yes, we are able to do that. And if, Kadir Has University was as big as Bursa, no way, Jose, I couldn't do it. That's for sure.
Thank you. We're coming up to the final minutes of today's session. I did also want to ask Sally if you're there with us today, and if you wanted to make any comments on this question of overcoming the student employability gap.
Hi, hello. So we are still in the phase of getting to know Coursera, and I think the ongoing digital revolution is changing the economic and social environment where universities exist, as well as universities themselves. And the idea of developing this area of educational activity is supported by many researchers at our university, especially the researchers of the Generation Y. And therefore, regarding this, we are still in the phase of getting to know Coursera. And I have to say that it will be an important complementary part of the curriculum in our school. And I find this quite useful for our students because it will provide them the opportunity to continue their education outside of the school. And because of the limited during time due to the pandemic conditions, it will be a crucial part for their deficiencies. And we believe that in a world where digitalization is an inevitable result of the technology, schools should keep up with the updated systems. And with the help of the Blackboard system, we have become the school that could offer the most courses online in Turkey. And we believe that Coursera will make a significant contribution as a continuation of this success. So it was pretty nice to listen to you. It has been very useful for us to get to know the Coursera and the digitalization process in the other universities better. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And that brings us perfectly to the end of our session today as well. So I'd like to thank all of our panelists for joining us today and sharing your insights. We certainly hope to speak with you again very soon. An on-demand version of the session will be available, and we'll also produce a summary article. So if you wanted to follow up on anything we've spoken about today, then please do keep an eye out for that. But for today, I will just say again, thank you very much for joining us, and goodbye.